YouTube's AI will detect bad words. Like, it's not human reviewed usually, I think. There's a lot of different things. They're pretty sensitive to things like kill yourself. And I think you understand get raped nigger hater is anti-racist. I think you understand that. I don't know if the actual employees are from Nepal, Bhutan, Kyrgyzstan, if they're actually working and where it's not San Ramon, fuck San Ramon, it's fucking Hannah, but it's actually working in what's called San Bruno and actually reading this. I'm a targeted individual. People are going to report this video. Get raped nigger hater. Don't kill yourself. I'm going to stand here. I'm going to say bad words, say good words. For example, if I said, you're a fucking retard, that might get a hostile whatever. But if I say kill yourself faggot repeatedly, faggot, I get banned. That's how I hate speech. I'm not saying kill yourself faggot. I'm using that as an example. I'm saying if I said kill yourself faggot 10 times in a row, YouTube would ban this video and I'll get 1 week strike. But if I say get raped nigger hater, they are able to understand that's anti-racist. I think. I'm pretty sure I've said get raped nigger hater repeatedly and they don't ban that. They understand that's someone who hates niggers to get raped by a nigger. But of course, I'm just a nigger rated. So basically, if I say anything, it's like I had a crush on Chloe from Hunger Games back when I wanted to kill Katniss and have it make it a horror movie, and she was like 15 at the time, so that makes you a pedophile, right? Me liking Isabel Furman before she's illegal makes me worse than Ian Watkins or Lost Prophets. That's how the internet thinks. If Jesse Radin had a sexual thought about Isabel Furman when she was 15, 16, that means I raped her. But obviously, you guys are pretty dumb. You're not that dumb, right? I mean, she was pubescent at the time, not prepubescent. There's different. There's pedophiles, bibliophiles, and whatever. And there's different terms. Jimmy Wales is a bibliophile. He likes 15, 16-year-old girls. That's a fact. Jimmy Wales used to troll me on the internet and tease me and talk to 15, 16-year-old girls and stuff. That's worse than 12-year-olds and stuff. I think someone who knows they're talking to children and is repentant and they don't do anything about it, that's not as bad as someone who likes 15-year-old girls and goes after them, because that's dangerous. It's worse for like 14 and 17-year-olds than the like 10-year-olds at one level. If you like 10-year-olds, you know you're fucked up. You get therapy, you get help. You're repentant. You don't do anything. You're not a threat. But if you attract the 15-year-old girls and intentionally go after girls who can have babies but shouldn't have babies, then you're worse than a pedophile. You're a bibliophile. Bibliophile is worse than a pedophile. I mean, it's not. I mean, if you're attracting a 15, 16-year-old that they're able to have babies, they're pubescent, that's worse than being a pedophile. In terms of a bibliophile, I think some. So I'm not a pedophile, I'm a bibliophile. It means you're a fucking loser and you're going to impregnate a 15-year-old. That's worse than being a pedophile. If you know you're attracted to 10-year-olds and 9-year-olds and you say, I'm sorry, I'm never going to do anything about this, you're a non-threat, I don't know this, but you're a pedophile, you never actually touched anyone, you get therapy, you get counseling, you're okay. But a bibliophile who likes 15 to 16-year-olds is worse. Because, whole half your age plus 7 rule, that's a good rule of thumb. 14 divided by 2, it means 14-year-olds can date each other and 16-year-olds date 15-year-olds. But once you get, that's a risky area. 14 to 17 is a little dodgy because 14 to 15-year-olds can't have babies, and that's scary. I think one thing is a little off the wall. I think 24 and 16 is better than 19 and 15. I'm saying this, I know it's a little risky to say. I mean, the guy from Trapped, Chris Taylor Brown, got banned from Twitter X by saying 24-year-old women and 15-year-old boys are okay. Chris Taylor Brown, that's like me. If I was a musician, I'd be like him, in both the good and bad. He's an okay musician. He's very, I don't know if you like the band Trapped, the Headstrong band. If I made music, it'd be like Trapped. It's like I'm more emotionally stable and, my music is too much like Trapped, because Trapped's this band, I don't listen to that much. There's Trapped and there's Hinder. Hinder's pretty shit. Hinder's pretty shitty. I like that one song, Lips and Angels, is a great song. I like how the guy Austin from Hinder, he pushes his voice a little bit, like A440 a little higher. He sings really well in that one song, Lips and Angel. I really like that song. But other than that, if any Hinder song comes on Pandora and it's not Lips and Angel, I just thumbs down. I don't want to listen to anything other than Lips and Angel Hinder. Lips and Angel, I listen to that on repeat sometimes. I got Lips and Angel a long time ago in 2007. And I listened to that a lot back then. But other than Lips and Angel, Hinder has nothing good going for them. And also, the only thing about Hinder was the voice of Austin Winkler, or Austin John Winker or whatever. That's the only good song, Lips and Angel. And anything after 2012 for Hinder is a completely different musician. Hinder's a shitty, they're not bottom of the barrel, D+ music. And Trapped, they have a few good songs, a few mediocre songs, a few bad songs. I like Echo, I like Headstrong, a couple of songs, and one like a still frame. Trapped's like B-, C+. I will listen to a few Trapped songs. I thumbs down a couple, thumbs up a couple. I even have a Trapped station on Pandora. It's called Twitter Troll. It includes bands like Trapped and 3 Days Grace and other stuff like that. It's recommended in the early. I have my Pandora. I pay $11 a month for Pandora, and Pandora is better than Spotify. Way better than that shit. I know Pandora doesn't pay artists as well, but that's not the problem. They don't. Pandora is for people that. Pandora is not about making money when people play music. It's get people to listen to your music and actually buy the albums. I don't like Spotify that much. Spotify was okay a long time ago. In 2011, that's 14 years ago, I had Spotify, and I used Spotify to listen to the new Daughtry album, this Waiting for Superman. 2011, I realized Daughtry's not as good anymore. I'm not interested in Daughtry. I listened to, and then Spotify or whatever. I think Taylor Swift had trolled Spotify and made like a blank song, like 15 seconds to troll Spotify. I don't like Spotify. I don't want to do Apple Music, so I work for Apple, and my Apple is like under security reasons. I can't do anything with Apple. I think they know I work for Apple. I'm gonna say that. Everyone, I don't say. You're supposed to say we localize instead of Apple. Every other employee says Apple. Like people will say I work for Apple. You're supposed to say I work for relocalize. You're supposed to give them like his. I work and give them actually generic, absolutely nothing to do with your actual job on your resume, which is very difficult. Once you get off Apple relocalize, it's very hard to get a job again if you use the official definition of I work for relocalize and work for a top 500 technology company. It's very vague. The generic resume, if you work for relocalize through Apple doing Siri shit, that's another thing. I did the Siri shit. I worked for Siri from May 2018 to March 2020, and they're really nice though. There was a whole drama, you guys remember this, where where like Google and Apple, people were spying on each other, and someone, I think it was E2F, which is not as good as we localize. E2F, Kyle worked for E2F and we localize both work with Apple, and we localize is much better than E2F, for at least back then, because we localize give us 6 weeks of effectively on hold, because we got paid our full wages in August 2019, and they still had us go to Giants games and stuff. We localize is the best company I've ever worked for. Better than anything else, because they paid us $20 an hour starting. It was a contract. It was an ongoing contract. It was supposed to end in September 2018, but it was ongoing. It never stopped. And even when I went manic and missed a couple days, they would just be like, "You need to make sure you call us when you're sick." They didn't have a strict time set keeping policy. They did call it out because some people were really sloppy back then. They would work. Like people would work weird hours. You could work almost any hours you wanted. You could take like a 90-minute lunch and work. You could work like 7-8 hours. You could work 7.5 hours a day and get paid for 8. Like. I got in a little trouble. They didn't actually get me in trouble. They said you're working like 7 hours a day instead of 8. It's called presence. They didn't track every minute. And also there's something called MoveWorks. They call it DarfWorks because they probably smell of curry. They suck. MoveWorks is shitty if you're a contractor. Maybe if you're like what's this point? I think this video. This is going on for a while. I forgot what I was talking about originally. But relocalize is good. MoveWorks is shitty. They pay their employees $25. They offer you $25 an hour, and they say, oh, they use onerous testing. Long, complicated tests, and if you don't do exactly what they want, they say, oh, you are worth $20 an hour, $20 an hour, 20 hours a week only. $25 and employees get up to 40 hours a week. As long if you can work 20 hours a week, you work 20 hours a week or to 40, and you have to commit to 20 hours a week, and they have constantly making you track everything you do on the computer. You have to even it's worse than that. This is MoveWorks, and also MoveWorks was located in Mountain View, California. It's not their fault though. They're a shitty company, but it's not MoveWorks' fault they exist. It's the fault of people voting against some. I forget that they were going to build like a 5-story building for like a bunch of apartments for like teachers and stuff, like high-rise buildings, and these stupid socialist cunts were like, "Oh, it's going to increase traffic on Middlefield. I'm going to vote against it so we can just hug our cats and walk our dogs. Fuck you. You're the reason everything sucks in Mountain View, even more than me. I know I'm the problem. I'm Jesse Braden. I'm everything that's wrong with Mountain View ever. 1907 Montecito Avenue, apartment number 3, 94403. That's an old apartment, and that decision. I think it's 2016, 2017, whatever it was. Rent control was a mixed bag. It helped me personally. They had rent control in Mountain View, which was good and bad. It stopped predatory lenders from making leases and getting people in trouble. When I lived in Mountain View, my lease ended, and then within a month they gave me a 30-day loan because they wanted someone else. They wanted an excuse to kick me out. There probably wasn't a noise complaint, but I received no warning. They said there's a noise complaint. You have 30 days to vacate because it was a 6-month lease. 6-month lease, and there was no, and then I was month to month. And then that apartment was a 511 Walker Drive. That's on my background check, 511 Walker Drive, in Mountain View, California. I think it's also 94043. And then, we're talking about background check. I forget what's going on about. This is going on for 9 minutes, 19, Daniel Panabaker, 920, Jose Fat Fuck Alvarez. Duh, you're a noob. I'm pro. I have a 3.18. I have a higher Mythic Plus score than you. I play DPS, and DPS is harder than healing because you can't get in the plugins DPS. But I do 69 million DPS every 1 second. And I masturbate Monster energy drinks. Duh, you're a noob. I'm the Wade Boggs of WoW. Yeah, you're not that great, Jose. Jose, you're not that great at WoW. Either you regress to an imbecile when you play with me and we don't work well together, or you're actually not that good. We both regress. Me and Fat Fuck do not do well together in WoW. He's annoying. He's not that good. I do worse around him because he's always actually not. That's what maybe I should play with him again. If Jose is nice to me and stops being a retard, I'll play with him in WoW. I'm no longer just Rondicus. My main is now Rain Shower. That's based on this woman from August 30th, 1979 from YouThink. Not my love at all. Never gonna meet her because I scared her off with my weird posts and I would tag her on Instagram and say I'm not gonna stop tagging me until you block me, and she blocked me. Rain Shower was never really a crush at all. She was a cool person. And she likes the band Our Lady Peace. I think the name Rain Shower came from the lead singer of Our Lady Peace because she really liked Our Lady Peace, which is a band that Lifehouse should tour with if they ever get back. Because they're both Lifehouse is. I'm talking about Lifehouse now. This video's been on for 11 minutes almost. I'm just gonna go off and I've been off on so many tangents. I don't know what to name this because I've been off so many tangents. I think the coffee hit me too. It's a nice, decent cup of coffee, not overly caffeinated. It's a decent cup of coffee, good tasting. So we're gonna talk about Lifehouse should tour with Our Lady Peace because they have Canadians now. Canadian bassist Bryce Soderbergh. I personally prefer the Stanley Kleinfall style bassist music of Sergio, the fat Mexican, or like a bit Mexican bassist from like 2002. But I realized something. I cannot recreate the Stanley Kleinfall No Name Face Lifehouse because I don't have a 5-string bass. I saw some videos of my favorite song, Six Level Carousel, and apparently that was played on a 5-string bass. It's tuned down. It's a drop D tuning of a 5-string bass. I don't know exactly tuning of Sergio's bass, but I saw the video of the 6 Level Carousel being played, maybe at the concert or even the music video, which is a little artsy and stuff. But I cannot recreate No Name Face down and climb for myself. Playing a 4-string bass, I don't play a 5-string bass. I play a 4-string bass. So I cannot recreate Stanley Kleinfall directly. I have to either simplify the bass lines or do something completely different. My favorite bass lines are Stanley Kleinfall albums, Saint Song, and Just Another Name. But some of the songs, Stanley Kleinfall, I could not actually recreate that bass line myself with a 4-string bass. I have to. I mean, honestly, another thing is some bands don't cover well, like Lifehouse, Linkin Park. That's not a good. If you're some guy in a bar trying to cover Lifehouse, Linkin Park, it's not going to work out very well because it's very unique. It's like Jason Wade and Ricky and Sergio, Bryce, or Chester Bennington. I don't think someone trying to cover Linkin Park or Lifehouse in the bars and do very well. Maybe you can sing those songs in a karaoke. I don't want to be a cover. I don't want to be a cover band. Maybe I'll cover something. Maybe I'll cover an old school Lifehouse song, like obscure one, like just Another Name. I'll cover Spin. I think I can cover Lifehouse Spin. Change music, sing a little higher than Jason, and like harmonize a little bit. And the bass line of Spin can be done with a 4-string bass. But the other songs that sound like Kleinfall, like the Wash, Anchor, definitely you couldn't play that on a 4-string bass. It's not 4-string bass material. It's cool. I like Anchor's a great song. I'm gonna start uploading Lifehouse songs later. I'm gonna upload Anchor, Just Another Name. And one thing is, I'm at 13 minutes almost. When I upload music to my videos, some of them, like some bands get banned in Russia and Belarus. It's like bands that are not that big, like, or bands that stayed on one music. Bands that didn't make it that huge, that not as big as Lifehouse and Shinedown, that didn't hop over routine, that didn't have their. If I played Lifehouse, Shinedown, 3 Days Grace in Me, or like they have a lot of history and have switched. They switched from indie. Lifehouse switched from indie back to making an indie band technically. Lifehouse bands that are on their own record or have enough say in their own music, they let me play in Russia. But if I played like some random, like Hoobastank, Default bands Default especially, like that Default band, like the band that they that song called Deny, that would probably not get played. They were not that huge. They only played in one country. They were in just a few albums. But if I played some obscure Lifehouse song from 2007 album, it would get like caught, but it wouldn't be banned in Russia. So if I play music and get banned in Russia because it's like it's too new or it's all in one album or whatever, I'm starting uploading music videos. I'm not gonna sing yet. I'm uploading music videos and you guys can report it. Asians are more racist than whites, and women are more racist than men. Asian women are the most racist people ever. If I saw an Asian woman and a black man in an altercation, I would blame the Asian woman for being an Asian woman. Me so sorry. Oh, Asians all good. Jesse bad, but Asian good.